Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to RPL for some more action. It is time for some Tier 2 action. And we have a lot to get through. And that is because my name's Ryan Ocon and I have not been here for a little bit. I know it doesn't really seem like a while, but I missed Tier 2 yesterday. Had some stuff going on, so I couldn't do it. I was aware quite a while ahead of time. Made these guys quite aware ahead of time too. So knew that was coming. F2 last week. We'll speak about that right away. F2 last week because of the Belgium sprint was cancelled. So per Luke, L74G, as you may know him, that event at Portimao is not going to go forward. So that's why usually you would have seen round 6 at the name of the title right here, but it actually is round 5. So with that being said, let's go over the last couple things from the last couple weeks. I probably should go over Tier 2 now, because I missed Tier 2 yesterday, but I do know what happened. So yesterday in Tier 2, Owen, Minions were the 1-2 finishers for Red Bull, and then in third it was AC Lion for Mercedes, getting them on the podium. How about that, Mercedes? Kind of making their strides at maybe a comeback in the constructors. I mean, they've not had the best start to the season, but it is what it is. So yeah. Red Bull 1-2, Owen extending that championship lead in Tier 2. Bravo to him. As for F2 last week was very interesting. I say last week, now it's last race. I can't really say last week when Portimao got cancelled. But anyway, last race, I'll clarify that now. Last race. The last race in Portimao, the last race in Spain. No, the last race in Italy. Wow. The last race in Italy ended up seeing quite the drama unfold. I think the sprint race was a little bit chaotic. Driving maybe not the cleanest, but we saw some good racing out of it though. The feature race was very clean. I think it was chaos when it came to big moments, but it was actually really good racing, I would say, compared to the sprint race. I think the feature race had a lot better racing than the sprint did, and a lot cleaner racing. I think there was a lot of contact, but nothing too big out of it most times. And that's what you like to see. When there's contact, you do not want it always resulting in a spin, and I think it kind of stayed away from that. So with that said, how about the previous results? Well, I'll go over previous winners now. I don't have the results right in front of me. I do have the standings right in front of me, though. Well, actually, I'm lying. I do have the results right in front of me. So, in the sprint race, it was Tadpole, Florian, and Valkyrie on that podium. Valkyrie, remember, in that sprint race, took the podium based off the 2 competitors in front of her crashing, and she was right in position to take it. Remember, Beatnik and Scyther were following suit behind. Again, I'm going to have to figure out, am I going to call him Skither or Scyther? I did that mixed up. I mean, everyone has their different pronunciations, I noticed. Tadpole winning for Campos in the sprint race, and then the feature race, which I mentioned was quite a bit more cleaner, but the big moment was Scyther getting disqualified due to a glitch in the game. The game said he did not change tires, or if he changed tires, he changed the incorrect one, excuse me. So that led to him being disqualified when he had a chance to maybe win the race. It was Bourbon Boy who didn't have a penalty, Stenner who did, and Stenner had that 5 seconds. Scyther only had the 3. Scyther was within 2 seconds of Stenner in the Trident. Bourbon Boy got the podium in the Carlin, and Griffiths got a podium in the Dams, who also took the fastest lap from 18th on the grid. How about that? So yeah, very interesting turn of events for Italy 2 weeks ago now. So there you have it. Chat, if you're just joining us, let us know who you are, who you are, and how you are today, I guess. But yeah. With that, you know, all 10 teams have gotten on the podium this season in F2. All throughout, what, 4 rounds now? So, I must say, you know, from a commentator's point of view and a spectator point of view, I'm very impressed that that's the case. I think, you know, the interesting thing is, I've seen leagues, and I've been a part of leagues who have tried F2, and it never seems to work in the most competitive way of doing it. RPL F2 ends up working in probably one of the most competitive ways possible. Throughout the first 8 races, 4 weeks, there's been 7 different winners. And that's with Scyther being on podium in, what, all 4 of the 5 races he finished. So, to me, this RPL F2 season is quite competitive if you ask me. And I'm impressed with it. I'm very impressed. Because usually you wouldn't have these kind of stats, which I'm going to pull out now. Your stat guy for RPL F2, I guess. But 7 winners, 16 different drivers on podium. Remember, that if you think about that, with the amount of podium spots available each race, you have 16 different podium sitters of the 24 times there was a podium available for somebody. That's impressive. That is really impressive. Now, you know, I'm not saying it'd be the same and equal, but it kind of shows, like, you know, as much as people may hate F2, they might like to drive in it because it's RPL. They might like to watch it because it's RPL. Whatever the case may be. But because there are people who do hate F2 and like the Tier 2 standard, like the Tier 1 standard of RPL, and like it kept like that, that's what makes F2 special. You have the general podium sitters from F1 and F2, or F1 and F1 Tier 2, of the Red Bulls, the Mercedes, the Alpines, Ferrari, Aston Martin, and that's about it. I mean, you get your occasional AlphaTauris or Alfa Romeos or Williams on the podium, McLarens, you know, whatever it may be, right? But and Haas's, you can't forget about the Haas. But the thing about it is, in those kind of scenarios with realistic leagues, how often is it that you have 7 different winners in the first 8 races and 16 different podium sitters and 24 attempts? By the way, I have a list of a couple people who don't even have any points. Groggers is in this lobby. He doesn't have points so far in the F2 season. Jim Bob is here. He doesn't have any points. So, you know, there are still people who are looking to score points who do not have points right now as well. Like I said, all teams have scored a podium. There's been 3 different teams who have started on pole position. 3 different drivers who started on pole position. And the margin of victory in 3 races so far, out of the 8, have all been under a second. So you know in RPL, whether it's based on penalties, whether it's on track, it is all so damn close. And that is one thing you just cannot let go about it. It is so close wherever you are throughout the field. Like I mentioned like a couple weeks ago, you know, there are some people, and I'm not saying there's any commentators here, I don't think so. I think Titan does a good job. I actually commentated with him before, quite a while ago, a couple years ago, at one point. With covering the action, usually you get the action that's covered throughout the top 5, top 6 or 7-ish. But last week, we had so much action that was just barely inside the points or outside the points. You have all the action possible here in RPL, and it is just one thing that is just not forgettable. But so far in the F2 season, we have many different winners when it comes to the teams. Prema, Hightech, Trident, Dams, Cherouz, Campos. So, you know, let's see what we can get here for round 5 of the season. Race 9 and race 10. By the way, before we get going, which will be just quite soon, it should be. I know a lot of drivers are getting ready to go. We'll go over the drivers and constructor standings quickly. How about that? Come on, viewers, join us. Let's see what you got. I know there's quite a few people who usually do watch F2. I'll let you know as well the other races in the day that are coming up, such as Tier 1 and next week as well for Tier 2 and F2 in a little bit. But first, the drivers and constructors standings come. So, Skither is leading the driver's standings by 19 points over Valkyrie F1. Valkyrie F1 is in the lobby, and Skither is in the lobby as well. I just want to make sure all of these guys are in the lobby. Tadpole, I think Tadpole should be. No, Tadpole is, never mind. Tadpole's the driver next behind, 22 points back. Then it's Mythic and Ads, 38 points, 30 back. And then for the constructor standings, you have Trident, who are 14 points ahead of Searles. I mean, it's Mythic who's the Trident, Searles with Skither, and, you know, I think a couple of different drivers have ran the Trident car this season as well, which has kind of helped their constructor's bid. Stenner as well, who just recently won. Stuggy C1, who recently just won before that. You know, quite a few drivers who've won with different constructors. So you know, you have a lot of flip-flop around. But Searles, they're 14 points back. Carlin is 28 points back. Dams is 41 points back, and ART and High Tech are in that battle for 5th. 53 points back. So this will be things that we do focus on as we head into qualifying right now. Do not want to miss the action. And it is a dry qualifying session, by the way. So that is good for the drivers. We'll see if we have any rain in the race. The drivers will obviously let us know. And a big thing as well, because, you know, Flynn mentioned he has not driven Spain this game. The penultimate and last corner are not flat at all. Well, the big thing is, we saw, I think it was in Tier 2 last week, we saw the Red Bulls. They were able to make it flat out, but nobody, it was either the Red Bulls or Ferraris. Either one of those. I don't remember which one, but it seemed like no one else could make it flat out like they could. And that is something to watch for here, because F2 cars, it's pretty obvious they handle quite differently compared to the F1 cars, but that is one thing to watch in this qualifying session. Can they make it flat out to the penultimate and last corner? Here we go. Qualifying underway, and you can already see Malik has already retired from the session, and I'm going to assume Malik is wanting to start at the back of the grid with this feature and sprint race with the way we're going. Let's go up to the field and focus on our championship leader here, Skither, and the Shrews. Let's see how he can do it. He's currently second in the board. It's kind of flip-flopping back and forth between first and second. Now down at fourth. But Skither, there's something about him with the driving ability. He races so many different leagues. The driving ability he has, you know, it was kind of joked around how the all academies really want him. You know, they want him to race for them. And you could just see throughout this qualifying lap so far, he was fourth just a moment ago. He's now back up to second, and now back down to fourth as I say that, though. So, I think a lot of thing with driving ability here, you're going to watch Skither probably have a chance for pole. It's between Beatnik, Valkyrie, and Skither now, and potentially Wolso and FPL. Those are the 5 drivers battling it out, and, you know, look at the driving ability from Skither right here. I know you don't see it right now, but you'll see it throughout the feature and sprint race. What he is able to attack, what he's able to accomplish, everything else. He's just able to hit his marks so well, but in this qualifying session, it was Beatnik who was able to hit his marks and get pole position with a 24-1, 2 tenths and more. The next driver was back, and that was Valkyrie F1. That's good for the championship bid for Valkyrie. Valkyrie being 19 points back of Skither. So, let's go over the qualifying running order. You have Beatnik on pole. He will start on pole for the feature race. Valkyrie F1 alongside him. Wolso, Skither, FBL. That's the top 5. Look at the gap, really, 3rd through 5th. Within a 10th. And then you have Tadpole, Mythic, all within a 100th. Blonde, Jim Bob, Titan round at the top 10. Only 12 drivers made a lap, by the way, or at least completed their lap. Outside the top 10, you have Zakaria behind his Virtuosi teammate of Titan, Crispy, Malik, Cryptic, Fake TB, and Flynn and Suji C1 were both disqualified from the session. So I think, I just want to make sure. The reverse grid pole is going to be from either Blonde or Titan, I think. And I just want to see here in a moment, because I am not 100% and I don't want to be 100% just yet on that one. Beatnik says he did not do a lot of practice when it came to preparing for this race. So a lot of drivers in the F2 chat kind of debriefing about their qualifying lap and talking about it with one another before we get underway for the sprint race. And the interesting thing about the sprint races so far, I must say, is 4 different teams have won them. And 4 different drivers. Can we get a 5th different driver to win the 5th different sprint race so far this season? Remember, now that Portimao is not on the calendar with what had happened last week with the Belgium sprint race in real life, we only have 10 rounds. And after today, it's halfway. It's crunch time for these drivers. You have to accomplish what you can now. If you want to knock Scyther off the top of the leaderboard, now is your chance. Here come the 5 red lights for the F2 sprint race. It is lights out and away we go. Titan on pole. Jim Bob alongside him. They race down to turn 1. And you can already see some jockeying for position. A little bit of 3 wide. Not the best start from Jim Bob. He's getting challenged from 2nd place now. Blonde around the outside. Blonde's going to try it on Titan. Can he make the move? No, he cannot. Just not ready just yet. We have a car spinning at the back. That's Cryptic. Cryptic down the order. And there could have been contact on that one. Titan already pulling away to a 6/10 lead. And they are racing quite close for 2nd place. They are all jockeying for position. More yellow flags on the track, and you can see Blonde keeping the 2nd spot over Jim Bob. Now sliding sideways goes Wolso. Wolso's down the order, and Mythic now going to challenge Tadpole around the outside. Tadpole also having Mythic getting challenged from Scyther behind that. Scyther trying to gain positions already, and I think he's done just that. Yes, Scyther's gained 1 spot already. You can see the positions gained. 5 spots for Suggy C1, Valkyrie F1, and FBL. They're trading spots. FBL is going down the order. So something happened there out of a little small chicane for him. And now Zakaria battling him. How about Zakaria, who started 11th? Titan's teammate battling up the order. Here he comes. But FBL is still challenging it around the outside. Oh, almost contact right there. Pinching between one another. And I think that's going to be Zakaria's spot here as they head toward the penultimate corner. However, FBL is challenging this back once again. FBL down the inside once more. Side by side, and they could just not keep it side by side. You saw Zakaria up the road is sliding sideways. Unbelievable how he kept that car straight and going. Titan leads lap 1. His teammate, though, Zakaria, is challenging FBL and trying to get up the order. Zakaria is 9th place and gaining 2 spots and trying to gain more. Suggy C1 also gaining spots. Now Crispy down the inside trying for a move. Cannot get it done, and you can see Suggy C1 was sideways there in the background. Beatnik as well did not have the best of starts either. He started P10 and now he's down the order. So a lot of jockeying, a lot of changing for position here on the opening laps. And here we go, down the inside, Mythic on Tadpole for position. And now you can see Skither is also challenging this. I think there was a 3 wide moment for just a quick second. Back down the inside, Tadpole's going to try it. Tadpole side by side, a little bit of pinching with Mythic. Here's Skither in the wings, trying to take position. And side by side once again, Skither just down the inside, just confident on the brakes. He did that move just perfectly with close quarter racing. Got the move done, now 2 positions up on the grid. Skither, you can see, is just very calculated, like I was saying in qualifying, with his moves. You can see, gonna go down the inside here, late on the brakes. Can he get it done in time? No, he gets ahead though for the time being. However, he's now got the inside lineup for this corner, the 3rd to last corner, challenging here. And now there's cars going down the order. That is Mythic, who may have had some contact with the car who was around him. Don't know who that was, but that just absolutely ruins his sprint race. Remember, there's no pit stop required in the sprint race, so you have to get all you can out of these laps. Blonde, fastest lap for him. Anyone going to take that? No, not for the time being. However, D-Rest will be enabled this lap. Cryptic now going to take that fastest lap. And down the order, Fake TV and Crispy were going. I think there may have been a bit of contact. Here we go, Zakaria, Valkyrie F1, little battle there. Valkyrie F1 actually losing spots on the start compared to Skither. That is crucial for our championship battle here in F2. Fake TB, Crispy, little battle right there for Position outside the points. Here we go down the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Fake TV is off right there. And was that from Beatnik or Kipu? I could not tell who it was from. But that has absolutely hindered Fake TB's chance at any possible points today for the sprint race. It is all kicking itself off, it seems. And now it's a really three-car train at the front of the field with the way they've got. You know, Skither's going to get himself into this, and he's bringing the train with him. But it is Titan, who is under much heat from Blonde and Jim Bob behind. Remember, with the tire everyone started on, they all started on the hard, so they can make it the whole sprint race. Here's Suggy C1, a previous race winner, battling Wolso now for 10th place. Remember, the top 8 get points in the sprint. So these guys are trying to get to that 8th position right here. Turn 3, switchback was trying to be made from Wolso, couldn't get it done. This battle for P10 continues. However, we're going to go back to the front of the field where Skither was getting challenged there from Tadpole. And Skither has kind of caught Jim Bob, but the problem is Jim Bob's kind of fallen off of that top 2 pack there with Blonde and Titan. It's not much of a pack, but it's a DRS train, which you want to be in if you want to have a chance for this win. And that's what Jim Bob has kind of pushed himself away from. Wolso, Suggy C1 once again. Here we go, side by side, the third to last corner right here. These two just been battling it out. A little bit of contact right there between them, but I think Suggy C1 gets the spot. Whoa, a little close right there. Pinching was done, but it was enough for a position. Here we go, fastest lap from Valkyrie F1. Valkyrie F1 trying to get on the charge, trying to get past Skither there. That will be crucial for the championship. And you know, they're only 4 spots away from each other, actually 3. Here we go, 3 wide, down the straight, into turn 1. Oh, this might not end well, and it's going to allow Suggy C1 to get pushed off the road. He's got to re-enter safely. I think Cryptic, or sorry, that was Wolso pushed off the road. Cryptic took advantage of it, though, and Cryptic has got 2 and 1 from all that. How about that? Look at what the battling has just done right there. Unbelievable. Oh, off the road goes Wolso. Now it's more 3 wide. Contact made. Wolso clipped. That was Beatnik right there. Or sorry, that was not Beatnik. That was Suggy C1. And there was contact with Beatnik from it. Wow. A lot unfolding here in the F2 sprint race. And we're not even halfway. This is all for positions outside the points. You see Cryptic, Wolso, they all have time penalties already. Off the road there was Crispy. Here we go, lap number 6 of this race, and you can see already Skither is on the charge. Now he's within DRS of Jim Bob, and he is closing, and he is almost going to be beside him by turn 1. Can he get beside him by turn 1? No, he's just going to have to wait for it once again. Crispy, the 3rd different driver to pick up a penalty in this race. And Skither has actually pulled away from that little DRS train he was pulling along. You had Tadpole, FPL, and Valkyrie F1 in it. So very crucial in the sense of the championship. I know it's 19 points, but you know, all these points are crucial for the championship, especially because Valkyrie F1 is going to be starting ahead of Skither come the feature race. Positions being traded once again. How about this battle? Wolso, Suggy C1. Oh, sliding sideways, and that was right in front of Beatnik. Beatnik had to take evasive action and luckily avoid a collision. 5 cars under a blanket for P11. This battle just continues. And the big thing, by the way, about Skither challenging Jim Bob is He does not have much time to get by Jim Bob to challenge the top 2 right now. The fact that Titan could win the sprint race is miraculous. When's the last time Titan won? Actually, when's the last time Titans won in general? How about let's go back to F2. Also, Beatnik more battling here. Come the third to last corner. Now come the penultimate corner. Also ahead of Beatnik. Beatnik ahead of Suggy C1 now. It is all taking place here. I don't think Skither's going to make a move by the time of turn 1. Is he? Is he? Yes, he is! Skither down the inside! Jim Bob around the outside trying to pull something! Pinching him! Now! Trying to keep it around the outside of Jim Bob. Skither holding it on the far inside line. He's going to have the traction for turn 4, but does not have enough. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Jim Bob stays ahead. However, there's more battling behind that. That's outside the points. Mythic had a Suggy C1. Suggy C1 is struggling now. I'm looking far back here. Oh, slide sideways. That was Kippu. I'm looking far back here. It is so long since Titan 1 and F2. Guys, we might be here for days. I'm going to go back to the battle here with Scyther, because Scyther's now under heat from Tadpole. Man, it is so freaking long since Titan 1. And I know it might not just happen yet. He's got a 4/10 lead and he's under pressure. But the fact he's been able to hold off this long has been impressive to me. DRS applied for Blonde before turn 1. Will we get a move being made? Yes, we will. Down the inside. Titan's going to try to pinch it. Titan's going to do everything he can to hold on. But there's contact. Blonde kind of forces him the long way around, and Blonde has got ahead after that little bit of contact. Oh, more positions are being traded. How about Zakaria? Valkyrie. Valkyrie with this switchback right here. Valkyrie, by the way, has some damage on that high-tech. And he's got ahead of Zakaria. Now Zakaria is going to challenge us back. Is he going to be able to go down the inside? No, just not enough. Beatnik as well. Got the position on Wolso. How about that? More battling behind that. Look at this. Oh, bit of contact. That was Wolso and Mythic right there. And it is Mythic getting ahead out of all that. 3 drivers with a penalty. You know, I do think Spain is one of those tracks where it is kind of in the middle whether or not you can pick up a penalty based on your track limits. Remember, Titan's still in DRS, you know. I mean, Jim Bob has also still had a skither right here, too. So, all this playing big dividends in these battles up at the front. Every position means everything. Any position means everything. And it's showing. Titan's almost out of DRS now. Titan's had a mistake on this lap, and it's really cost him now. So was that the commentator's jinx about Titan potentially winning for the first time in quite a while? Here we go on the front straight. You can see Titan is out of DRS, but Jim Bob is in that DRS. This is the best thing for Jim Bob to cover off Skither with just a couple laps remaining. Suggy C1's not picked up a penalty. Crispy. Jim Bob now picks up a penalty. There was 3 and 1 right there. Mythic as well. Beatnik battling. Yellow flags. That's in the front straight. I think it was. Yeah, Mythic now side by side with Beatnik. Beatnik made a mistake there at turn 2. And Mythic is going to get ahead now. But Beatnik is still challenging around the outside. Is he going to pull right in there around the outside there by turn 4? No, he's going to try for the switchback down the inside. Beatnik is still going for it. Oh, no, not enough. Nope, he's still going to try to go wheel out of turn number 5 now. He's trying to set himself up perfectly, but it's just not enough traction, just not enough momentum. You can see Malik and Crispy battling there for 16th place, but the battle's back up at the front now. Titan's at a DRS, and Jim Bob has a penalty, so this would put Skither on the podium. Now I don't even know Titan's last podium. I know Titan would be here to give a big fact check on the last podium, last whatever on people, but right now, I mean, I don't know it. Cryptic, Zakaria, Valkyrie, all under big heat right here. Bit of contact. Zakaria trying to hold her on the inside line at the penultimate corner. Now going to have to back out for the last corner and going to get a big run now down to turn 1 on Cryptic. In front of that, Cryptic, by the way, has a penalty. Skither now has his opportunity set on Jim Bob to go attack Titan. Jim Bob's got that penalty, so this is the perfect opportunity to have it happen. A little bit of contact, more contact, shoving wide, and now it is going to be Skither ahead of Jim Bob for the podium place. And Jim Bob had to yield right there, or else there was going to be a big collision. Zakaria and Cryptic now battling. Look at this, a bit of contact almost. Wow, that got close. And it's going to get closer here between these last couple laps for the 7th place position. These are all for points positions because Valkyrie, Flynn, all right there behind. Just like with Valkyrie, every position matters for this championship point. Skither would be extending his championship lead right now. And Tadpole could potentially be overtaking Valkyrie F1 with the points right now on the board. We're about to come to 3 laps to go. If Titan wants to hang on to this podium, now is the chance. Did he get a podium anytime soon? I know Titan's not had a podium this season, so this, like I said before this race, the 16 different podium sitters. Now you could have 17. Blonde already has a podium. Skither already has a podium. Yellow flags, but that's at the very back of the pack. That's with the Malik and Crispy battle. However, Titan's getting overtaken right here. Titan's swap positions there with Skither, and he doesn't have DRS, so this is big with Jim Bob having DRS and Tadpole following suit. Skither now en route to catch Blonde for the lead. Oh, going wide there was Jim Bob, and that's going to allow Tadpole to take advantage. Tadpole right in the rear gearbox, and this is for turn 2, place 4. Now, down the inside, the switchback. Oh, he got him sideways there. Jim Bob actually left the session. That's why he was sideways. And he will need an invite with that lag out. So now this allows Tadpole to take advantage there of P number 3. Wow. Holy cow. It's all kicking off, guys. And it still will, because Titan is still trying to hang on for this podium. Jim Bob has joined back the session. We gave him an invite. The battling within these last couple laps just becomes more and more crucial. Skither, is it too little too late to catch Blonde? I think so. Blonde would be getting his 2nd win of the season. Skither would be getting another podium and extending that championship lead, so very crucial right there. Crispy also has joined back the session. Now it's 5 cars under a blanket from 2nd to 6th. How about FPL overtaking Jim Bob, who is ghosted and still not joined back the session properly and in control. We've now got 2 laps remaining. Zakaria and Cryptic, this battle has just been continuing lap after lap after lap. Cryptic going around the outside with a little bit of touching there. Cryptic now has got the inside line for turn 3, and with that dirty air, it's kind of got Zakaria sideways right there. And I think Cryptic's take advantage of now. But the problem is Cryptic has a penalty, so it's going to allow Valkyrie to get a point out of this. Now is the time. Now is the time with this many laps left to try to find your spot on the podium, your spot in the points, and potentially find where it is crucial. Jim Bob's, I don't know if he's in the session or not in control, but he's off the road. And why this is crucial is because of the 3-second penalty, which Zakaria could now overtake 2 cars from. And Zakaria loses it! Zakaria's lost his place as well from that. He was sideways there, going up the hill, and Valkyrie F1 is taking advantage, taking the place, and that is crucial. And Jim Bob's off the road! Jim Bob's got no front wing! Jim Bob is out of the points now! What is going on with his AI? Or even him? Is it even him? Zakaria around the outside of Valkyrie F1. Can he do it? Yes! Zakaria through this time. And Zakaria now has the chance to get Cryptic's 6-second place away from him. Yellow flags throughout the field, but it's not going to matter now. It's all outside the points that it is happening. Blonde, what a performance. Okay, ever since he took that lead from Titan, you know, kind of reminds me of the Belgium sprint race last week where Fittipaldi took the lead from, I think it was Vasseur, and just went on cruise control to the victory. Just could go smooth sailing home for the victory. And he's going to be able to take it today. Blonde comes through the penultimate corner, and now the final corner. He is going to be our second repeat winner of the F2 season, and he is the first repeat winner of the sprint races. Blonde cruises home to victory. Skither adds home another podium onto his season, and Titan Iron gets a podium for the first time in F2 in at least over a year. Welcome Titan Iron back to the podium. He held on. It was maybe not the victory he wanted. He had the lead for at least half the race, but once he got overtaken, he was able to hold on for that podium spot. How about that from Titan? You know, I remember an Australia race from about a little over a year ago where he got crashed out of the lead, and that was probably his best chance at maybe a win. It was not a win today, but it was a pretty good performance to take home that podium place. Kudos to Titan, honestly. I know I've given him a lot of praise throughout the sprint race, but he deserves it, truthfully. I'm looking back and I still can't find through the race results him getting a podium from many time ago. That's how long ago it was. And Tadpole, FBL, Zakaria, Valkyrie F1, and Flynn round out their points playing positions. Cryptic fell down to 10th after that penalty. There's a couple position trades throughout the last couple laps, and even with penalties throughout the points as well. Beanick, 11th, Suggy C1, Kipu. I mean, all that battling throughout that positions outside the points. I don't know what happened to Beanick. Beanick started outside the points and he just never got there. I don't know why, but it just wasn't the race for him. For whatever reason. I don't know. No, guys, I'll be honest. I'm still going back and I can't find Titan's last podium. Pola won a race, that's how far I'm back. Yeah, I mean, this is something. I don't even know if it's his first podium, so I'm sorry if I called that wrong, Titan. Oh my goodness. And he's happy. And he is happy. How about that? Yeah, he said he led 2/3 of the sprint and held it on the podium. I mean, fair play. Here's your podium now. And here are your sprint race results. Blonde, Skither, Titan, the top three. Tadpole, FBL, Zakaria, Valkyrie F1, and Flynn were your points positions. Points paying positions, wow. I'm having quite the time up here. As you can tell. Fastest lap went to Skither, so that's also another bonus point, by the way. Outside the points, Mythic, Cryptic, Beatnik, Suggy C1, Kipu, also Malik, Fake TB, Jim Bob, wow, what happened to him, man? He was gonna be 4th, maybe, on track? Maybe 5th or 6th once it was all done on penalties? What a way not to go out. I feel bad, man. And then that big battle outside the points as well. It didn't really help any of them for anything with the points at the end, but it probably had a lot of fun with those guys in it. I'm sure. Beatnik, Suggy C1, Kipu, there was so many of them in that battle. And I don't think they're mad enough to where they're going to say, hey, I'm going to submit this to the stewards. Maybe the incident at turn 5, but beside that, I mean, what a battle. What a battle that was. That was really good, and that was outside the points. You wouldn't think it'd usually be that way. So now we are getting ready for the feature race for F2. How about that? Here we go. Here come the 5 red lights. Now it's Beatnik's chance to shine. He was outside the points last time. And away off the line they go! Off the line they go. You can see side by side, maybe 3 wide for a moment. Here comes Wolso. Wolso's got the momentum, and he's going to go almost to the bollards there. Down the inside. One of them's going to have to back out. There's contact! 2 of them off the road. Who's going to come out in front? Skither from 4th to 1st is going to come out in front after all that. There's contact at the back. Jim Bob, Wolso, Cryptic, all off the road. Tighten down the order too. But my goodness, Skither, the guy who's leading the championship, has come out in front. Beatnik has got a penalty from the game. That 5 second for cutting the corner and gaining a place. Yeah, well, that's costed him. FPL now down the inside. Look at this. Suggy, C1, Flynn, all jockeying for spots as well. You see the different tire strategies. Some have elected to start on hards. Some have elected to start on softs. You can see Beatnik the highest one on hards. Crispy's out of the session. That's going to lead to a VSC. And that has halted our race. I thought he retired on track for a moment, but that car was still moving. So, you know, for 2 seconds, and then it stopped. So, no foul right there. We're good. But it puts the race under halt. What a start! I mean, someone was going to have to back out from that, and I don't think any of them wanted to. They didn't know that they were 3 wide, probably. At least one of them didn't, I guarantee you that. Or if they knew they were 3 wide, they knew we had to go balls to the walls to try to get the place, and that is exactly how that ended up. Now, Skither is pitting here on the opening lap off of his softs. The question becomes, is this a scheduled pit? Well, is this a scheduled pit stop, or does he have damage? I'm going to take the assumption that it is a scheduled pit stop. Tadpole spinning in the pit lane. Fake TB comes in with him. Now it's a full safety car, so this probably hinders the strategy. It's not throwing damage. It's to cover off FBL and the rest of the field, but that probably hinders it with it being a safety car now. And that's weird how that just changed to a safety car right as they entered the pit lane. So that will put a big question in the strategy for sure. So, with the safety car kind of halting this race, we are now on pause for a couple laps, but it's a lot longer than the sprint race around here. 13 laps compared to 19. And strategy will play a big factor in this because... Oh, FBL looked like he was going to dart for the pit lane there, but... it's because... Look at... Skither pitted, Fake TV pitted, Tadpole's got the penalty after he pitted. He sped in the pit lane, but looking at all this, and Jim Bob's now pitting too... I'll be honest, I'm not the guy you want to ask for the expert F2 stuff, because I don't know if you're, someone in chat please correct me, but I do not know if you're allowed to pit under the safety car or the virtual safety car with F2. I believe you are under the VSC, but not the safety car. And what's the deal if the VSC changes to a full safety car? These will all be questions that I wonder, but we'll find out by probably the penultimate lap or the last lap. Let's check chat to see if they said anything from it. They might know. Titan said that's his first podium in 5 seasons, by the way, so that's the correction for that. Pitting, by the way, again, was Tadpole. I think that's going to be to remove the 5-second penalty. So, yeah. So, I'm trying to see... So, there were some illegal overtakes from all that shenanigans at the start, but I'm trying to see whether or not it's legal what they did there with pitting. So, here we go. VSC pits won't count as mandatory. And I think even with safety car, you gotta wait till lap 4, but I don't know. That's a good thing that Titan pointed out. Thank you. But yeah, that's that. I don't think the safety car is coming in this time because there are 2 people who still have to catch up. That is Jim Bob and Tadpole, and here we go. FPL down to the pit lane. You don't want to really pass that safety car. You know how that could go. But it's FPL, Mythic pitting. And yeah, usually you do have to wait till lap 4, so maybe that's why you see 3 people coming into the pits. This time by. Positions gained from the start of the sprint. Or, sorry, the start of the feature, excuse me. Man, I'm having a bad day. But, yeah. It's, Suki C1, Flynn, Kipu, all getting spots under that start. Malik, as well, getting spots. All impressive from the start. We'll just have to see what happens. You know, I've not done much F2 commentary to where I focus on the I don't know how much F2 actual commentary I've done. I think I've done very little before RPL. But I think the thing is I've done so little to where it's like with the rules of F2, I'm familiar with them. I watch F2 obviously, but I don't memorize it the same way as I memorize F1. And the thing about it too is, you know, oh, what happened? Oh, Suggy C1's in the wall. What has happened to him? And the safety car is going to be coming in too. So this just puts an end to his race. He gained a lot of spots too off that start. So now that'll require a pit stop for him. Oh boy. No, with the F2 knowledge for myself, I think it's a lot different. I'm not too aware of the knowledge just like everyone else is. However, that is something as soon as I learn, I'll focus on. So, Beanick is in control of this restart, but Beanick does have that 5-second for the illegal maneuver with passing another car off the road. When does he go? Now he's on the foot. Now he's on the gas pedal, foot to the floor. Excuse me right there. Wow. But he's getting challenged there from behind. It is Valkyrie F1 trying to duck out, trying to go for his position. Down the inside, got the move done before turn 1. How about that? Tadpole as well, fastest lap. And all battling behind. How about this? 3 cars under a blanket. Suggy C1's now called it quits there in the pit lane. Race over for him. Malik, Kipu, battling. Kipu down the inside, having the traction at turn 3. You could see Malik went wide, but there you go. That's what sealed the deal. And there we go. Titan and Malik also battling for position 3 wide now. Oh, contact. Titan gets shoved up the road. And you can see that was all because the contact with Skither and Fake TV right there. It just had to allow Titan to back out right there. And you can see Skither kind of allowed Fake TV there to back out. Didn't allow much room right there. There was contact. And now you could just see how many cars are under a blanket for position right here. Coming out of turn 9 and 10. Here comes Fake TV, down the inside. Jim Bob pulling it around the outside. Still trying to battle it. Behind that, FBL, Tadpole, Mythic, all battling. And there are more cars behind that. It was Zakaria, Cryptic, all fighting it out. Up at the front, Kipu's also right on the back of Flynn. This is for a lot of heat, a lot of positions. Kipu actually, I think, lost 2 places in the process right there. So here comes Wolso. Wolso, he's trying for 2 and 1. Mythic's got the penalty from it. Now Titan's also trading spots with Malik. 3 wide for a moment. Are we going to go 3 wide? No, I think Kipu thought better of it. But he taps the back of Flynn. They're off. And there was damage there to Kipu. Kipu's now lost a ton of places from all that. And that just absolutely took the front wing off that car. Fake TB down the inside of Titan. A lot of contact right there. You can see everyone's getting so desperate in this sprint, or sorry, this feature race. You'd think it's a sprint race how desperate they are, but it's a feature race. My bad. Here we go. Fake TB back down the inside of Skither. A lap ago, they make contact here. Fake TB's ahead this time, opposite of what it was last time. And it's just allowing Valkyrie F1 to pull away with this race lead. Fake TB now becomes the first car out of the ones who pitted. And now it becomes second on back for this battle right here. All the way back to 9th. Right there. DRS now enabled, but you'll see DRS won't be applied this lap until the end of Sector 2. Here we go. Titan and Kipu. Close once more. How about Cryptic and Tadpole? Oh, there's contact and off the road they go. Little slide, I think. Is that Cryptic? No, that's Malik who went off the road. Malik went off the road and just came in front of FPL, but now he's around and there was contact. That was from FPL. And look at what that did. Front wing damage. That's going to cost him a pit stop here, potentially. In front of that, Kipu and Titan making contact. More contact again. And now Flynn and Skither. Skither gets out of Flynn. And Flynn trying to switch back on Skither. Around the outside. Is he going to be able to pull it? Jim Bob's retired. He's out of this session. He's crashed. And that's going to bring out the virtual safety car. So look at what that's done to this race. And is Skither trying to get the position back onto the virtual... Or sorry, now it's the safety car. Now it's upgraded to a full safety car. And pitting is our race leaders. The top 5. All in. Flynn 5 second, Tadpole 5 second, everybody but Cryptic and Skither have all pitted. And Cryptic was in that big battle, just remember, so this takes him completely out of that big battle where he was at. And remember, there's going to be a lot of double stacking here in the pit lane. We should probably focus on this. Well, it's definitely costed a couple of people position. Wow, I'm having quite the day. Costed a couple people positions, but I cannot tell necessarily who, if I'm being honest, at the moment. I think Beatnik's one of them. It costed a couple spots, I want to say. It looks like it. With the double stacking. There's definitely more, but I was trying to connect back to Wi-Fi on my computer because it went out on my computer. So yeah. So now we'll get a restart underway. In a little bit from now. Tadpole Kipper, what's going on here? I think a position swap? I think that's what happened. Welcome more viewers of F2. So, while we're under the safety car, let's talk about some of our other series racing this weekend. So, later on today is F1. Funny enough, they're at Spain. That is 3 Eastern, 8 UK. Catch the action then. Titan Iron Wolf will be commentating that. Speaking of that, Titan, I know you're watching. Can I commentate that with you if you don't mind? Obviously up to the admins and yourself, but I'd like something to do at 3 o'clock. So, yeah. More pit stops being made. I think this is Tadpole and Kipu heading into the pit lane. Either wanted to change some tires or just changing front wing. You could see that's what it was. For Kipu, I think for Tadpole it was a change of tires. They did not like what they were on, whether it would be tires or front wing, and they've decided to go off of that. Should be able to. Luke is racing instead of spectating. Oh, okay. Awesome. You know what? Great. And yeah, I mean, for me, like, I think you guys can notice that who are watching, I am not warmed up to F2 commentary. I wish I did. Well, I don't wish I did Tier 2 yesterday after what had happened with why I was not there, but I would have been beneficial for the Tier 2 to get used to the commentary again, because it's kind of been more days than expected. It's usually the week break, of course, because of well, not even the week break because of no commentary. It's really a 6-day break, but it was actually an 8-day break because there was no F2. I didn't do Tier 2, and I think what's going on here is Skither trying to pass the safety car, or is he telling the safety car, hey, speed up? So I think that's what's happening. Speed up. Wants to get in quick enough. Let's get desperate for it. Speaking of that, F2 next week as well. They're at Qatar, and I think there are 3 tracks I've never commentated in F1 League Racing. You'd be surprised, you know, with how rusty I've been to start off RPL once again. You would think I've probably never commentated before this or not commentated too often. I've commentated quite a bit before this, and I don't want to make it all about me, but I'll just say this. Qatar is one of 3 tracks I've never commentated in League Racing. If you wanna have a guess at the other 2 in the chat, go right ahead. But yeah, Qatar is one of 3 tracks that I've never commentated, and I'll get to do that next week. Speaking of next week as well, next week for Tier 2 is also USA, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. That should be fun. You know what? I think people give, and I'm sorry for the expletive, but yeah, Vegas is one of those. Yep. And the other one is actually that'll give it away. I'm not gonna do that. But sorry for the expletive here, but I want to say this: the shit people give Coda, like, I don't agree with it. I understand it somewhat from a real life perspective, but honestly, I'll say this, and you may notice it next week. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think it's personally because of the league races I've commentated there. Maybe it's different from RPL, but some of the races I've commentated at that track have been absolutely incredible. And it just provides some of the best racing on the game. I don't think it provides the best racing in real life. I think it's one of the best venues and one of the best kind of races atmosphere-wise and experience, but racing-wise, I don't see the same as I do in the game. And then next week as well for no, I already went off. I already went over everything. Excuse me, my bad. So yeah, a Tier 2 next week is at USA. It was Spa this week. F2 next week at Qatar, and then Spain already later today for Tier 1. So yeah, we have Spain for F2 and you have Spain for Tier 1. So you know, I know it's different cars, but more track time, the more the better for these drivers. And I know that's a saying, maybe more so a lot for NASCAR guys who race in different series constantly, like they go from the second series to the first series, or third series to the first, or whatever, or third series to second. But they're not the same cars here, but more track time, more the better. And what a restart from Skither. Malik gets a penalty in the process, but Skither's already got out to a 6/10 lead, and you can see the battling side by side almost for a moment. Blonde, Cryptic duking it out into turn 1 down the inside. He's going to go late on the brakes, and there might be contact. There is not, because Cryptic backed out of that one. Blonde got the jump, and Blonde got ahead. And now, 4 cars under a blanket here for turn 3. Around the outside, I think that's Wolso with Beatnik as well. It was Wolso around the outside on the Logan Sargent car. Here he goes, trying to hold it out. However, on the inside line, Beatnik got the traction on Cryptic, and now for the lead. Blonde again with Scyther. Once again, outside line for Blonde, but Blonde's got ahead because of the traction from Skither. FBL's got a penalty as well. Malik is retired. Will they bring out our third safety car? I don't think so. Side by side there between Wolso and Fake TB, there was touching. And I think that is Fake TB ahead. Behind that, Flynn and Valkyrie battling it out. That battling with Valkyrie is now just going to allow Skither to extend that championship lead, and it could be the battle between Skither and Tadpole. Oh, off the road. Oh, there's contact as well. That was Wolso, who got a tap from Flynn, I believe. Down the order as well was Titan. Who was that in front of Wolso who had contact? I think that might have been Fake TB. There's someone who slid sideways. I don't think it was off of contact. but I could be wrong. However, we are now coming to the later stages of this race. Here we go. Fastest lap for Blonde. Now behind that, FPL challenging for 7th place. He does have a penalty, so that will be applied at the end of the race and will be a matter of who gets the points, but they're going 3 wide in the back, off the road. That's Zakaria. He's going to take the escape road and come back out 10th. Oh, with contact too. Oh, more contact. And now that's allowed Tadpole to take the place, and Tadpole, second man in the championship, with the second man in the championship battling. It is Valkyrie and Tadpole duking it out for 9th place on the track. And now, almost 3 wide there behind that. That was Titan, Wilso, Zakariax. Wow, oh my, I'm, like I said, I'm having quite the day. But Flynn, ahead of Take B, Fake TB. Man, oh, and there we go. Zakaria, Wilso have come to collision. And their chances at points are likely going to be done now. Oh, that sound is awful. That sound is still awful. Now, Titan, Mythic, battling it out. Around the outside goes Mythic. Can he hold it? He does, but Titan's going to challenge it back with a little bit of banging. Ahead of that, how about this by the penultimate corner? We just caught the end of this. Cryptic, Skither, Flynn, Fake TB, FPL, Kipu. That's like 6 cars under a blanket. Here we go. 3 wide for a moment. Titan's got a penalty. Cryptic ahead of Skither now. Cryptic getting the bump there on the straightaway from Flynn. How about that? It all worked itself out. However, they're side by side now with Skither and Flynn. Flynn's got the penalty. Skither has to get ahead if he wants to get by Cryptic once again. However, they now stay single file. How about this? Just the side by side, the ducking out with F2. It's completely incredible. Kudos to these drivers here, 2nd through 7th, keeping it clean. They've done a good job at keeping it clean. The others, maybe you can question it. However, Cryptic went wide there. It's going to allow the switch back from Flynn. They're banging wheels again. Flynn down the inside, sends it, and gets ahead. Oh, a little slide there. Who is that? That was Fake TB, I think. And that has costed him 2/10 to Skither, unless it was Skither. I think that was maybe Skither. Yeah, he's fighting a sideways car, and you can see ducking out now. Kipu on FBL. He's gonna maybe go 2-1 right here. There's contact. That was with Fake TB, and that was because the checking up on that single file line. And now it is Fake TB on the inside line who's getting challenged from FBL around the outside. There's touching again. He pinches him out. Valkyrie F1 with a penalty. That's also crucial because Valkyrie F1 could have taken advantage of FBL. And now it might be Tadpole taking advantage of Valkyrie. Kipu on Skither once again. Skither is getting eaten up and he's just losing places now. He was 3rd at the start of this battle. Now he's 6th. Look at this. Kipu down the inside. Late braking. Got the move done and is ahead. Zakaria with the penalty as well. That's outside the points. And now, around the outside, Fake TB. You can just see the traction right there. The lack of traction. Sliding sideways around the outside. It's unbelievable. Oh, here we go. Skither, you can see the traction. He is losing it. He is struggling. FBL's now taking the chance down the inside here. Skither's been side by side with so many people, whether it's the inside or the outside of that same corner, and this time he's getting eaten alive. It is costing him so many places, and this is, by the way, with the amount of points that are on offer with the feature race, this is crucial for how much he'd want to extend that championship gap. Here we go. Around the outside is Fake TB. Is this going to be the 5th place that Skither has lost? He's still hanging around the outside. Fake TB on the inside line. 5 places within the last couple of laps Skither's lost. He is struggling. And that is also because the difference in tires too. Look at that. 12 lap hards. Valkyrie, Mythic trading places. That's at the final corner. You don't usually see a pass made there, but there was one. Out in front of that. Kipu ducking out with DRS enabled on Cryptic. Gonna have the inside line for turn 1. Is Cryptic gonna hold the outside? No, but I think Kipu ran a little wide there at turn 1. It's gonna set Cryptic up for turn 3. And I think Kipu got the traction there. How about the top 2? Bond could go back to back and win his third race. He'd be the first guy this season to win 3 races. How about that? Now this battling with this train goes from 4th to 10th now. Valkyrie F1 is the next target for Skither. Now Mythic's on the back of Valkyrie. This sound is horrible. I can't help but say it. Yeah, I'll have you guess at the end there, Titan, once you're done racing. It's Vegas, Qatar, and I'll let you guess the other one. The other one, I don't think I'll ever commentate a race at. I'll put it that way. I'll put it that way. That kind of gives it away, if you're listening. But anyway, this battle still continues. I think Fake TB's lost the DRS just a little bit, but it now makes 2 separate packs. The pack for 4th place is kind of for the podium if you think about it, because Flynn with that penalty, is it a 5-second or 3-second? Yeah, it's a 5-second. So, if that 5-second does not get appealed by chance, then it's Kipu trying to hold off Cryptic for the podium, and Cryptic right now is trying to hold off FBL. Don't think he's there close enough for turn 1, but Mythic is already close enough before turn 1 on Valkyrie. Gets the move done, is ahead, 9th place, boom, check, done. A little traction loss there and sliding sideways at turn 3. That was Valkyrie, just lost a ton of time. Now Mythic. I know he has a penalty, but he's now going to challenge Skither. And Skither can pass FPL with that penalty currently. With the way things stand, Skither just losing the traction. I think Skither said in the chat that he didn't have a setup on, but I could be wrong. If that's the case, you can see it's visible now. Down the inside. This is continuous for Skither. Challenge at that part of the track. Now, he's able to switch back for the first time in this race with that corner. However, he just doesn't have the forward bite off. He's going to have DRS here, I think Skither is. Yes, he is. Oh, sliding sideways. He was able to save that one. Who has fastest lap? Good question. Let's check that. I should be able to check that. And Wolso's retired from this race. That brings out the virtual safety car. The fastest lap is Blonde with a 26.5, and Skither's off the road. Was there contact into the VSC? And does this get upgraded to a full safety car? Yes, it does. And by the way, the top 2, because of that, missed the pit lane. Wow. Flynn, 5-second for speeding, so that adds to his woes. He's going to serve a 5-second while having a 5-second added on. Fake TV, speeding. Everybody is coming in this stage of the race. And it's going to set us up for a 2-lap shootout. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Only 5 people stayed out. Titan, speeding. Everyone trying to minimize their time in the pit lane because they know the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Speaking of that quickly, before the safety car does come in, we've got F2 next week at Qatar. That's the first time this league races at Qatar, I believe. And, Spain later today for F1. Tier 2 next week is at Texas, the USA. Yeehaw. This will be it, though. 2 laps to decide the finish. And remember, so many of these people have penalties. It's important to mention, when the penalties get applied or when the penalties get appealed, there are so many people who are going to see the Stewards office after this race just because of contact on the track, penalties being applied, penalties being appealed, having a talking to, so many things. And here we go. Underway. The green flag is out, and only 9 cars caught the pack there with how many pitted. So if you think about it, maybe it would have been better staying out, but only 5 people in this grid have no penalties on the board, so very crucial for someone like Tadpole in 10th place to have these guys battle. However, I just realized this. Just updated at the end of the lap. Only 5 cars are up at the front of the field. So the 5 who stayed out took advantage of this. Everyone who pitted is battling 6 on back. That screwed Skither out of this as well. Skither's now trading spots with what is Flynn for 7th place. There was touching once again. And for third place, FBL, Kipu. Kipu, down the inside. Sorry, that was Mythic. Excuse me right there. And with these older tires, is the risk gonna be a puncture for any of them? Especially with one they pitted. I doubt it, but don't put out other questions. Zakaria, now, retired from this race. I think the leaderboard's just updating itself. I think it's behind. Wow. Okay, the sound's a lot better. I'm just gonna put that out there. The sound was not good at first. So it's Blonde, gonna take the final lap here. Who's trying to win his third race of the season, his first feature race event, and Beatnik, who is trying to win for the first time since last season and the first time this season. Beatnik, so far, already has one podium to his name, trying to add a second if it's not the victory. How about this? Third place, Kipu, who does not have the penalty, down the inside. FBL gonna try to switch back here. He's gonna do it around the outside, side by side. Skither with a penalty. So now there's only 4 cars in this race without a penalty. Titans added a penalty to his name. That's been applied. This battle for 7th and 8th and 9th is all continuing. However, although Kipu's ahead, he does not have a penalty. So unless there will be penalties applied to him because of contact on the track. Skither, look at what it's costing him. Tadpole. Tadpole's going to take maybe 2 places out of this if he keeps it on the road. It is all kicking off. 4th on back. But Beatnik, he's going to have one last chance of this. It's the last sector in SDRS right now to be applied to have a chance on Blonde. I must say, with that 5-second being served from Beatnik, the contact at the start from 3 wide, he's ran a good race. But the guy who's run a better race is Blonde. He's going to take a first feature race victory, and he's also going to be the first guy to win 3 races this season in F2. Blonde sees the flag first ahead of Beatnik by 6/10 at the end. Beatnik takes his 2nd podium this season, and Kipu as well is on the podium for the first time this season. Make that 18 different podium sitters. How about that? FBL gets the flag there as well. Skither crashes with Flynn, and I think he's actually got Flynn at the line. That's because of penalties. And it actually costed him 57 thousandths with Tadpole. Running out the order. 4th is FBL, 5th is Mythic, 6th is Cryptic, 7th Valkyrie, Tadpole 8th. And then you'll see so on in just a moment here. What a race. I don't think it was the cleanest feature race compared to last week. I think it kind of swapped its roles. The sprint race was cleaner. The feature race was not as clean. Last week it was the opposite. You know, that happens sometimes, I think. You just don't want it happening constantly. But what a race that was. I think there were so many battles throughout the field to where drivers were not giving an inch. You could just see there. I think, honestly, we're going to see it later today, maybe. If there's safety cars to bunch the field up. I think we're going to see a lot. But there's the podium, by the way. 2 Brits, 1 American. But to cap off what I was saying, I know it was basically because of Skither. With, I think it was no setup. That corner, that chicane before the little back straight with DRS. There were so many overtakes in that spot. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen that many overtakes at that spot. I think ever. But look at what it's done to us. I'll take a screenshot here of the points. 12 different guys with points here. Why is the music slowed? Skither ended up taking some fastest lap points. Valkyrie ended up taking some fastest lap points. The championship positions, they're going to change quite a bit. At least 2nd on back. It's not going to change much. Skither still extends his lead from the way it stands. Blonde catches up in the championship with that, by the way. Actually, where was Blonde in the championship before this? By the way, excuse me, here are your results quickly. Should have went over that quicker. My bad. But, yeah, let me look at the gap with Blonde and Skither. Skither had 11, and Blonde had 35. I think that may promote Blonde to the top 4 in the championship. Potentially top 3, but I doubt it. So it's 61 to Skither's 79. So I think it's brought the championship closer. So he's extended it over the guys who were second and third, but he's actually lost quite a bit when it comes to Blonde. Because Blonde won both races. Blonde swept the weekend. Except for not getting pole, I guess. But yeah. And not having fastest laps. But yeah, there you go. That's that. With everything there. No, but the overtaking there at the chicane. Before the back straight right there. I mean, I've seen it based on safety car restarts, the overtaking there within the first couple laps, but it was all throughout the race in that one corner. Skither, inside line. Skither, outside line. Skither getting pinched out. Skither pinching someone else out. Forcing them to back out. Forcing them the long way around. It was always him and someone else, and maybe a couple others too who had that as well. Fake TB was one of them. So many battles. We're going to see if the stewards have to say anything about the feature race. I know the feature race is going to be the bigger question when it comes to penalties being applied. But as always, I think RPL F2 has just given us so much action. So much action. You can never feel bad about the amount of action we just had in the feature race here in RPL F2. I mean, look, I've had some F2 leagues that I've either commentated on or I've watched. My old league, which transferred ownership, ARL, they had some F2 racing when I had stepped down, and the F2 racing was okay. Well, okay compared to this. It was good, still good racing, but it was always not as competitive throughout the field. You had the competitiveness from about 1st to 6th, maybe at the most. You always had a battle between some championship protagonists, 1st to 3rd. I'd always watch it, even when I wasn't owning the league, and I stepped down, and I was commentating other leagues for F2 before, and I tend to notice with RPL F2, with what's now 30 different spots available on the podium. We've had 18 different guys on it. We've had 7 different winners. Only 2 of them have been repeat winners in 10 chances of 10 chances available. I mean, I'm amazed. I seriously am. And you know, I've only been commentating here for 3 weeks now, but I'm amazed in the racers here. I'm amazed in the battling. I'm amazed in the competitiveness, okay? Someone like Titan, and I'm using Titan as an example because I think Titan can admit himself he's probably not the brightest or fastest racer on the grid. And it's not an insult, but it's the fact that there are so many guys who got a podium before him. There are so many guys who could contend for wins before him. There are so many people, and it's also due to the sprint race format too, with other things, or the feature race, or the chaos that goes on. But Titan is somebody who I think we've watched these races in Tier 2, and he's been outside the points, or just on the fringes of points. And then F2 so far, he's been right outside the points as well. And you remember it's top 8, top 10 for points in sprints and features. And he got a podium out of it. See, the competitive nature with this F2 league, with guys like Titan is my prime example, it is what amazes me. And the strategy that goes behind it with, like, there was people who stayed out, who probably wouldn't have a chance for a podium, and they're like, oh my god, I got a podium now. So, no, the competitive nature, 18 different podium sitters to start off the season, 7 different winners, only 2 of them being repeat winners. I'm actually amazed by it. I really am. And, you know, the community's been very welcoming. The drivers have been very welcoming. And I have to say, I know I keep praising it, I'm like, you know, some would say I'm sucking it off, but no, honestly though, like, if there was any league for me to come back and say, I want to commentate, I am so glad I choose RPL. And with that said, the action continues. Next week, this weekend, whatever it may be. It's F1 at Spain later today. You know, and that's the thing too, I mentioned it last week in Tier 2. Taking out that chicane at the final corner, look at how much battling there was down to turn 1 compared to usual. You'd have the casual overtakes up, every other lap, overtake, turn 1. there's so much battling throughout the field. It's not like it's first through sixth. It's battling outside the points that we also focused on. The battle with Beatnik, the battle with Kippu, the battle with, Wolso, Cryptic, all those guys outside the points or even inside the points. It's just battling everywhere. It's so hard to keep up, but I'm glad that it's that way because it kind of challenges you. And with that said, yeah, taking away the chicane, that's exactly what they did with the battling. It made the battling even better, even in F2 cars. So yeah, amazing stuff. F1 later today is at Spain. That's at 3 Eastern, 8 UK time. Next week is F2 at Qatar. Tune in for that. We'll keep you updated on the championship and the results if anything changes. That's at wow, I'm losing my brain. That's at 11:15 Eastern, 4:15 UK next week on the Saturday. Next week for Tier 2 on the Friday is COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Texas, USA. It's whatever you call it now. I know there's like 3 USA tracks, so they have clarified Texas, Vegas, and Miami. So Texas next week for Tier 2. That's at 3 Eastern on the Friday, 8 UK on the Friday as well. Tune in for that. Tyrant Iron Wolf takes over the action Tier 1 later today. Until then, enjoy your day, folks. Catch us then for some action for F1. Bye-bye.